Okay, we're ready for our next group in the Tomato Smackdown. So today what we're going to do is do 6 combination of commercial and heirloom slicer tomatoes. So this is in addition to the chef's choice we did earlier. So first one we'll go with is a commercial tomato, Beefmaster. It's planted in this bag, but it vines all the way over here. It's been lowered and leaned. And now here's the tomato, and we'll go ahead and harvest that. The next one's another commercial tomato. It's the Better Boy, and here's the bag, and here is the fruit, and so I'm gonna cut this one off. Next, I'll harvest the Black Krim, an heirloom slicer. Vines over here. I'll harvest it right here. Very beautiful. Another heirloom slicer, the Brandywine. Next is the Cherokee Purple, finding over here. Beautiful. And finally, the green Berkeley tie-dye, right over here. There's the vine. Let's go taste these. Beefmaster VFN Hybrid. This is a commercial tomato, and it is the VFN and the hybrid. I'll talk about those in a subsequent video on picking tomato seeds. Nice red and green, a little green on there. Next is the Better Boy Hybrid, another commercial tomato. Pretty much standard inside. Nice and juicy. Moving to the heirlooms, this is a Black Krim heirloom. And a dark, some black, some red inside. I consider it to be one of the more beautiful tomatoes inside. Brandywine, a bigger tomato. Again a heirloom. Little red on the inside, a little more meaty. Cherokee Purple. Beautiful red on the inside, a little color to it. And last but not least, the green Berkeley tie-dye. The beautiful bright green inside. This is ripe. It's not unripe. It's just a beautiful bright green on the inside. So let's get tasting these. First, we'll start with the Beefmaster VFN Hybrid. It's known to be meaty and juicy, so let's give it a taste here. Again, I like to get a pinch of salt to bring sea salt to bring the flavor out. Very juicy. It didn't ripe quite evenly, so that's why there's green over here. That's a little more crunchy, but the main part is very, very juicy, but kind of a standard tomato. Next, let's move over to the Better Boy Hybrid. Again, this is another commercial tomato that you can get in the stores. This is, let me cut a piece here. This looks a little less juicy, a little more meaty than the Beefmaster VFN. The texture is very interesting and very good. Rather than there being pockets of juice and kind of more meatier part, this is juicy and meaty all spread together throughout the tomato, but not quite so sweet. If it was a little sweeter, it would be even better. Now moving to the heirlooms, the heirloom slicers. This is the Black Krim. This particular vine produced a lot of fruit early on in the season, still producing today. So very juicy, very complex. Nice texture, not too chewy, not too mushy, kind of just right. This may be my favorite so far. And I'm a sucker for the coloring also. This goes very well on caprese salads, where you can see it, where any dish where the colors are really highlighted or visible, along with the green Berkeley tie-dye. Again, that's a very bright one as well. I know I'm jumping ahead, but I just had to do the comparison there. Very, very good. Okay, moving on to the Brandywine. Again, an heirloom, bigger fruit, a little tart on the front part of the palate, the first part, right as you eat it, and then kind of grows into a smooth, a little sweet finish. So it's kind of a nice contrast. Again, more complex flavors, which I tend to be a sucker for, as opposed to more single note flavors, which some people prefer. Very juicy, very sweet, nice texture, but only a little bit of sweetness on the tail end. Moving on to the Cherokee Purple. I know that some of my friends, a friend of mine who's a chef, this is his favorite tomato of all. A new favorite so far on this tasting. This one is, again, kind of like, I think the Better Boy Hybrid. It's meaty but juicy at the same time, which is a nice combination. And it has this one has complex flavors, kind of like the Black Krim. So it's got the best of some of them. Plus, it kind of changes and the flavors change as it goes from the front of the palate to the back of the palate. And finally, last but not least, the green Berkeley tie-dye. I love the coloring on the outside, and especially I like the bright green on the inside. So on sandwiches, bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwiches, you see this peeking out under the bun. It's really striking. Using it for bruschetta, it can give a multicolor effect for bruschetta. Caprese salad, it looks awesome, and it's just a very bright, unusual tomato that really helps the visual appeal. It's a little bit on the single note side. It's a little firmer, a little less juicy. A nice flavor, but a single flavor, not nearly as complex as some of the others. But I love this for its visual. So I have to say, it's going to be, in terms of which I think is winning this round, I like the green hybrid, Berkeley hybrid, but it's more for its visual than it is for its taste. The Cherokee Purple is very awesome, as is the Black Krim and the Brandywine. A little too tart on the Brandywine, so it's down to these two, the Black Krim or the Cherokee Purple. Okay, I still think, although the Cherokee Purple is a close second, I'm picking the Black Krim for this one. It has the interesting visual inside, colors not quite as striking as the Berkeley tie-dye, but has a nice combination of meatiness and juice, and finely spread throughout it, and complex flavors that kind of change as they go across from the forward palate to the rear palate. So that takes us out of the commercial and heirloom slicers. We'll be moving over into paste tomatoes next.